Okay, so how have we fared? About 2 months after buying this G-Shock. So I realise it's probably a bit of a cliche watch and everyone likes it because of what it is, and mainly that's the dimensions really. So we're talking 12 millimeters thick roughly, 45 millimeters roughly in diameter, and roughly 48 millimeters lug to lug. So it's a very well proportioned G-Shock by G-Shock standards. I think people who watch any of my videos know I just like blue, so for me it works very well. And my previous kind of beta watch was a Longines Conquest with a rubber strap and ceramic bezel. I'm just giving that a bit of a rest. I've used it pretty much for five years of a lot of hard use. It's had 3 services, so it's been back for a lot of polishing and just making to look fairly good, but it definitely shows its signs of wear. So I just wanted something cheap, £109 for those wondering, that I could just pick up, because obviously it's quartz, and just use for any occasion really. So my use case was pretty much that, a robust watch that wasn't too big, that I can use for anything I want to do and just not worry about it. And I've got to be honest, it's actually gone better than I thought it would. Not in terms of the watch is what it is, right? So it's nice, it's got some nice functions. One of the cool things that I do like is when you want to see a digital display, just press those 2 buttons and the hands get out of the way, and then you can see it, and then you press them again and they move back. Lots of watches do that, but it's pretty quirky. You've obviously got the day. I do actually need to move that now. You've got the date, and that can be lots of different other things as well, depending on what you're trying to do. So world time, timer, stopwatch, etc. And then you've got the seconds at the bottom. So it's a very useful watch. The world time thing for me will be very useful when I start traveling again. It'll be a very good travel watch. So yeah, it has lots of useful functions. It's the type of size watch that I enjoy, and it is comfy. These areas I mentioned in the first review of this, when I first picked it up, these bits are still quite stiff. They haven't molded to my wrist quite as much as I would like. So when it sits on your wrist, instead of kind of going around it, it does have a very slight gap. And I'll just demonstrate that in a moment when I put it on at the top. But this part of the strap is really flexible, really soft, and really comfortable. I haven't utilised the quick release function for the straps. I don't think I ever will. I'm just going to leave it on the strap and just crack on with it. I don't know if you can see, but I have knocked it a tiny bit. There's some marks on the bezel there. You definitely won't pick these bits up, but there's some, oh there you go, there's some scratching where your deployment clasp would be. And there's just obviously just some scratching and marking on the strap as well. So when do I wear the watch? More than I thought, actually. So recently in the UK we've had temperatures up to 30, 31, which is very unusual here, and it's very muggy. And I don't enjoy wearing metal watches at that time. They just stick to your wrist and they're very uncomfortable. So for that type of weather, this has been a very good watch to have in rotation. So I've worn it a lot more recently just because it's been so hot. I also went on holiday to Center Parcs with my family, and typically I would wear one of these watches or my GMT or something else. And I would always be a little bit wary about doing activities with her and just trying to hide it underneath a cuff of my shirt or a shirt. I don't wear shirts that much anymore. My jumper or coat or something like that. But with this, you just crack on and you just get on with it. So it's really enjoyable to wear. And we went on lots of climbing frames and lots of different activities, did archery, went swimming, and you just forget it's so light. You just forget it's on your wrist. So that matched with the fact that you just don't care if it hits stuff or knocks stuff. It's perfect, which is exactly why I bought it. I use it just to do stuff around the house, mow the lawn, clean the car, any kind of handiwork, which doesn't happen very often. But yeah, it is the perfect watch, just as people would say, as a beta. I really don't like that expression, but this is perfect for that. Grab and go beta, whatever typical phrase you want to put in from a watch collecting perspective. But it's a very, very comfy watch to wear. I'll just put this one down. So you just put it on. Bear with me. So there you go, on my 7-inch wrist. It's very comfortable, but you can see there, it just sits slightly raised above my wrist. Just because these bits, they just don't really sculpt to the wrist that well. I don't understand why G-Shock or Casio don't just use this all the way around. So I do find it comfortable. It has pulled a few hairs, but you can just see it just sits above my wrist there. But in some ways it's nice because it allows it to vent, and obviously you get more air in there. So it just, again, makes it a bit more comfortable in sweaty weather. So yeah, really enjoying it. It actually is going to be a keeper now. I mean, for 109 quid, there's no point in selling it really. It will get a lot of use. I think whenever I travel abroad, even though I've got a GMT watch, I'll wear this for travel days when you're moving suitcases around, going through the airport, taking your watch off, going through scans, stuff like that, when you're very likely to damage your watches. And I'll probably take my GMT with me separately and just wear that when I'm actually in my destination. So it will really fulfill its purpose really well. We're going to Suffolk, for those who aren't in the UK, which is quite a nice area, and we're doing an activity centre there, so again it will get worn a lot there. So yeah, from a use case perspective, it does exactly what I thought it would do. I really like the look of it. Obviously I don't wear it when I go out for dinners and stuff like that. It has its purpose, but it serves its purpose very well. It's very comfortable, it's very light, it has all the functions I would like. So yeah, I'm really pleased with it. If you're not sure about G-Shocks, this is my first one. I'd highly recommend them. Obviously, do your research, make sure you like specific ones. This one doesn't have a lot of features at the price point, so it doesn't have solar charging, it doesn't have satellite sync with the time, all that type of stuff. That's why it's £109 and not a £200, £300, £400, £500 watches. So for me, absolutely perfect, really chuffed with it. Yeah, it will be in a collection for a long time, so do your research as always with these things, but this has been one experiment that has worked out very well, unlike my my Zelos one, which didn't end how I hoped it would. So yeah, really enjoying it. Any questions, let me know.